You tell someone you're a software developer, their eyes light up. Oh, wow, that's amazing. You must be so smart. Great money, right? Working on the future. You're basically a rock star. Tech is booming. Salaries are insane. Companies are desperate for developers. You have your pick of jobs. Fast forward to 2024. You tell someone you're a software developer. Oh, that's cool. Isn't AI going to replace that soon? What happened? How did IT go from the golden ticket career to just another job getting laid off in waves? So how did we get here? That's what this channel breaks down. Hit subscribe. How did the most coveted profession of the 2010s become maybe don't major in that? Let's rewind to the early 2010s. The tech boom was exploding. Facebook was hiring. Google was hiring. Every startup was hiring. Companies couldn't find enough developers. Demand was insane. Computer science programs overflowed. Coding boot camps launched everywhere, promising 100,000 plus salaries after 12 weeks. Everyone wanted in. And the money was real. Entry-level developers were making $80,000, $100,000, sometimes more. Mid-level developers were pulling $150,000. Senior developers with equity were becoming millionaires. For regular jobs, not executive positions, just writing code. You could job hop every 2 years and get a 30% raise each time. Companies would bid against each other for talent. Signing bonuses, stock options, unlimited PTO, free food, nap pods. IT workers had leverage, and they knew it. Then COVID hit in 2020, and somehow it got even better. Everyone went remote. Tech workers could now work from anywhere, live in a cheap city, make San Francisco money. Live in another country, work from the beach. And the dirty secret came out. A lot of tech jobs don't actually require 40 hours a week. Developers started admitting online that they were doing maybe 10 to 15 hours of actual work per week. The rest was meetings, downtime, pretending to be busy. Some people started working multiple jobs. Same person, 3 full-time remote developer jobs, making $400K total. Nobody knew because everything was remote. They'd brag about it, post on Reddit. I work 20 hours a week across 3 jobs and make more than a doctor. Screenshots of their bank accounts, pictures from vacation, living the dream. The ego was unreal. IT workers became insufferable. They'd flex on everyone. I make 6 figures lying by the pool. I automated my job to take 30 minutes a day. I barely work. They'd ghost recruiters, turn down job offers over tiny salary differences, demand fully remote, demand unlimited PTO, demand. Because they could. The market was theirs. Companies needed them more than they needed companies. And if you remember watching tech workers online bragging about working 2 hours a day for $200K while you were grinding a real job, hit that like button. It tells me this story is hitting home for people who watched the rise and are now watching the fall. Then companies started noticing. 2021, 2022, productivity metrics weren't adding up. Managers were realizing their remote teams weren't actually working full days. The return to office mandates started. We need collaboration, we need culture, come back to the office. IT workers revolted. I'm just as productive at home, which was true. But they were also only working 15 hours a week, so being just as productive at home wasn't the flex they thought it was. Some companies forced it. Others made it hybrid, 3 days a week in office. IT workers acted like this was a human rights violation. People quit over it. I'll just find another remote job. And for a while, they could. But then the market shifted. Interest rates went up in 2022. Suddenly money wasn't free anymore. Startups couldn't raise infinite funding. Growth at all costs stopped making sense. Tech companies started looking at their budgets and realizing they'd hired way too many people during COVID. They'd been using cheap money to scale aggressively, and now the party was over. The layoffs started. Meta laid off 11,000 people, then 10,000 more. Amazon laid off 27,000. Google laid off 12,000. Microsoft, Twitter, Salesforce, everyone started cutting. And it kept going. 2023 was worse than 2022. 2024 didn't get better. Suddenly the job market flipped. Too many developers, not enough jobs. The leverage disappeared overnight. IT workers who'd been turning down offers because the salary was 5K too low were now desperately applying to hundreds of jobs and getting nothing. The ego crashed hard. People who'd been making 180K were applying for 120K jobs and still getting rejected. Entry-level position requiring 5 years experience became the norm again. New graduates couldn't find anything. Boot camp grads were completely shut out. Even experienced developers with good resumes were struggling. The job hunt went from "which offer should I take" to "please, anyone, hire me" in about 18 months. And the schadenfreude from non-tech workers was real. Years of watching tech bros brag about their easy lives and massive salaries, and now those same people were panicking about rent. Should have been nicer when you had the power, was the general sentiment. Then AI hit. 2023, ChatGPT and GitHub Copilot went mainstream. Suddenly, junior developer work, the stuff new grads did, could be done by AI. Copy-paste Stack Overflow code, AI does that instantly. Write basic functions, AI handles it. Debug simple errors, AI's got it. Companies realized they could do more with fewer developers. Why hire 3 junior devs when 1 mid-level dev with AI assistance can do the same work? The layoffs accelerated. But now they weren't just cutting excess. They were cutting roles that AI could replace. And the confidence crumbled. Developers who'd spent years feeling untouchable were now wondering if their job would exist in 5 years. Online communities shifted from "I work 10 hours a week and make $200K" to "I've applied to 400 jobs in 6 months and got 0 interviews." The advice changed too. 5 years ago it was "learn to code, guaranteed job, great money." Now, maybe consider trade school. Plumbers can't be outsourced to AI. The irony is thick. The people who built the automation tools that replaced other jobs are now being replaced by automation tools. Factory workers, customer service reps, writers, tech workers watched those jobs get automated and said, "should have learned to code." Now code is getting automated and everyone else is saying, "should have learned to trade." The prestige evaporated too. IT used to be seen as elite, smart, the future. Now it's just another corporate job, another industry having layoffs, another field getting disrupted. The move fast and break things culture that made tech cool became toxic. People saw through it. The innovation was just reckless. The disruption was just ignoring regulations. The culture was just excusing bad behavior. And the perks dried up. No more free food, no more nap pods, no more unlimited PTO that you never actually used anyway. Companies cut costs. Office spaces downsized. Benefits got worse. The golden age ended. The work itself got worse too. Everything is maintenance now. The fun startup projects dried up. Now it's maintaining legacy code for enterprise companies, fixing bugs in ancient systems, meetings about meetings about meetings. The creative, exciting tech work exists, but it's locked behind senior positions at top companies that aren't hiring. Everyone else is just grinding, like every other job, for less money than before, with more job insecurity. The burnout is real. Tech workers thought they were different, special, that their field would always be in demand. Turns out they're subject to the same market forces as everyone else. Boom and bust, supply and demand, automation and replacement. The dream sold to millions of people, learn to code and you'll be set for life, turned out to be a lie. Or at least a temporary truth. For a golden decade it worked. 2010 to 2020, maybe stretching to 2022, IT was the path to financial security and comfortable work. Now it's overcrowded, unstable, and being automated. Just like every other field that promised to be, quote, recession-proof. So how did we get here? Tech boom created huge demand in the 2010s. COVID made remote work standard and revealed how little some IT workers actually worked. Companies overhired during cheap money era. Tech workers got overconfident and demanding. Market corrected, interest rates rose, layoffs started. AI arrived and began automating entry-level work. Supply of developers massively outpaced demand. the leverage flipped completely. And a generation of people who thought they'd picked the safe, lucrative career path are now scrambling. IT went from elite profession to just another job market saturated with qualified people competing for disappearing roles. The dream died. Fast. Maybe the real question isn't how we got here, it's what the next dream job will be before it inevitably crashes too. If you watched IT go from untouchable to unemployable in less than a decade, hit that like and subscribe button. We're documenting every boom that turned into a bust, every quote, safe bet that collapsed. And tech might be the fastest one yet.